guys Guru, who works in the routing team, right? Or wireless?
Wireless team.
Wireless team, and he's going to talk about something very interesting. Why do we procrastinate? So let's give him a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, we are hearing so many news around us, and my heart goes out to everyone who got impacted. And I wish they get all the support they needed to sail through this time. So I'm here to share my story about how I was procrastinating and what are all things I did to stop procrastinating. I'm not perfect at it, but still, I tried on myself and magic happened, and I'm here to share my story with you. So, do I click this? Yeah. So, like, how many of you here have procrastinated? Okay, everyone. Okay. So I'm not done. Like everyone around here, like when it comes to an important work and when the clock is ticking towards the deadline, I'll be watching this YouTube comedies and Netflix documentaries, and it's not that I don't realize how much time it takes to complete the work which I have at hand, or not that I have scheduled enough time to watch the movies which I used to watch whenever I have an important work. So we used to think that if we manage our time better, we'll be able to stop procrastinating. We think that if we have a better grip on time, we can stop procrastinating. So procrastinating is not about managing our time. It's about managing our emotions. What emotions has to play with procrastination? Let's dive deep into it. Why do we procrastinate? We procrastinate when something is too boring. Like when it comes to laundry, I think, okay, tomorrow, maybe weekend. Oh, I have some other things. I keep pushing that. When I file, how many of you have filed the taxes by now? Okay. Yeah, it's like, okay, April 15th is like 2 months away. Let's file it later. So in short term, it's fine. Like it's okay to procrastinate these boring tasks. But as things pile up, we become anxious. And when things go out of control, it becomes stressful and it drains our energy. So how do we tackle these boring tasks? I'll dive deep into it. And when things are too difficult, we procrastinate. I procrastinated endless time to go for a dry run. Like Lysandra scheduled almost like 30, 40 times for this. I would have cancelled my appointments at least like 20 times. I procrastinated because it was too difficult for me to prepare and present myself. And fear of failure. Whenever we have a fear of failure, we procrastinate. How do we deal with the boring task? So whenever you have boring tasks, whenever you feel like doing the laundry or filing the taxes, just close your eyes and listen to your thoughts, little voice in your head, what it says. Like, maybe I want to relax now. Who wants to do this boring task right now? There is some amount of unpleasantness which is going inside you. It's normal to sit, for every human being to sit back and enjoy. We all needed the comfort. We all needed the coffee break or the movie time. But still, we have to deal with the reality. So when we catch ourselves mindfully, what's going on in our mind, the moment you catch what's going on, the resistance goes down. The resistance to take that task, resistance for that task goes down. When the resistance goes down, that's the most conducive time to file the taxes or do the laundry. This is not applicable all the times. Sometimes the underlying emotions go deeper. And let me share my story with you. How do we tackle this fear of failure? I was an elementary school kid. I remember I was 7 years old. Like when you're 7, every day is a good day. Like I enjoyed going to school, and it was like any other day for me. Like I got my progress report. In India, we have something called a ranking system where every kid is compared against other kid. I used to be the one who get first rank most of the time. And on that day, I got a progress report. It said second rank. I didn't make anything out of it. But I went home. I showed my dad the progress report. My dad looked at me. Looked at the progress report and looked at me, and he said, like, "No, if you keep scoring like this, I don't think you will get anywhere in life." Then on that day, then I said, maybe like, okay, I'll do my best to get the first rank. Then from that day onwards, I said to myself that I'm not good enough if I'm second. The whole life, stay with me. It's little deep, and I'll connect the dots later. Like what's the connection between fear of failure and the story? Travel with me. From that day, I started doing things to prove myself to dad. Whatever I did, dad, is this enough? I got the first rank. Dad, I got an offer in a very good company. Dad, I bought this. I seeked for approval. It started with my dad, then it started with people around me, my colleagues, my family members. I started doing things to prove myself. It came out of ego. I would go to any extent to succeed. It was hard on me. I was carrying all those emotions and baggage just to prove myself. With ego, with all those, I wanted to hold my self-esteem high. So I was doing everything to prove myself. When you do something to prove yourself, all the effort comes from ego. Why am I doing that? Why did I do that? Why did I start doing that? I felt I'm incomplete. There is somebody smarter, healthier, or prettier. I felt that I'm not good enough. When we feel incomplete, we start proving ourselves to seek that completeness. So it comes from the concern of ego. And before anyone judges us or anyone criticizes us, we'll be the harshest critic on ourselves. Before anyone criticizes, I'll criticize myself mercilessly. That's how I kept on this journey forever. And all those motivation came extrinsically. It was all extrinsic motivation. The rewards, our fear of escaping a punishment, it all came from outside. Nothing was inside. It went on forever and it drained my energy. So when you do that, you can't carry on with that forever. Then your mind plays psychological tricks. Then you follow this you adopt this self-handicapping strategy. I'll tell you what's self-handicapping. You'll have self-efficacy beliefs of what you can achieve. But once you cannot meet your own expectation, then you will do the psychological tricks to sabotage your own performance. And you'll make failure more likely. The common handicapping strategy is we won't try too hard. Maybe like if I have a weekend cricket match, I won't be practicing enough. If I don't score, if I don't play up to my mark, I can always blame that on not practicing enough, on not on being a bad cricket player. Or if I have a certification exam on Monday, I'll postpone preparing the exam until Saturday. On the final weekend, I'll read the books. I'll read everything possible. On Monday, I'll appear for the exam. And if I fail, I can always blame it on not having enough time rather than being incompetent. So I can avoid my self-blame by using this self-sabotaging technique. So how do we overcome this? And procrastination is a common way to tune out. Like I procrastinated preparing my exam until the weekend, and I appeared on Monday, and It happened 3 weeks ago. Some of my friends know. So, thing is, when the results come, it says failure, and it lists out what are all the areas which I have to study. There is nothing called failure there. All it says is you have to prepare this. You have to equip yourself on these topics. But how I interpret that as I'm a failure. But actually what it says is you have to read better. But how we see it as failure. So what is failure? Something occurs. What occurred? What happened in real life? I got a result where it said you have to study this radio techniques. That's all it said. Maybe you have to put a lot of effort on going through these packets. I could have interpreted in other way that I'm a failure. I didn't get the certification. Or I can interpret that I have to put a lot of effort reading it, learning it. You can be in two different mindsets. You can be, it's from a famous book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. You can be either in fixed mindset or in growth mindset. When you are in growth mindset, you do things because you wanted to learn, you wanted to grow, or you simply enjoy doing it. That's the growth mindset. When you operate from fixed mindset, you wanted to do things because you wanted to win, you wanted to succeed. We'll look for an easy A. I'll go for the dumps and read and get the certification. I'll look for an easy A to win. That's the self-handicapping strategy. Yeah, you can be either motivated intrinsically or you can be motivated extrinsically. When you are motivated extrinsically, you'll go through all the suffering. When you are motivated intrinsically, there is no such thing as failure. Even if you fail, you still achieved your goal of learning. You'll still enjoy the process, going through that hardship, because there is no such thing as hardship. I'm still learning. I'm still reading the books. I'm still reading about radio concepts. So the hardest thing, like whenever you have this fear of failure, talk to the little kid inside you. Tell him or her that he or she has the undying loyalty, love, and compassion they wanted. And tell him or her that they have the support all the way, irrespective of the outcome. So it all comes from the past. So go through the past. Your current actions are defined from whatever you got from the past. So support the little child inside you. Tell them that you have the love and compassion. When the underlying force is love and compassion, you will be driven by love, and your oxytocin level goes up, and your brain won't be in autopilot mode. You can control your brain. But when the underlying emotions is fear, it goes in autopilot mode. It goes on like a kid. You can't control it. It goes anywhere where it wanted. So have self-compassion. Whenever you have the fear of failure, just have kindness. How do you support your kid? By talking kindly. Like you won't have a harsh talk when you want a kid to have a new routine. Do the same thing to you. Have self-compassionate talk to you. You won't have the fear of failure. When you don't have the fear of failure, you can plunge into any task you want. The hardest thing for any difficult task is to begin. Begin. The rest is easy. Thank you.
We have 10 minutes for questions if anybody wants to or has any questions for him.
Have you tried Pomodoro technique?
Which one?
Pomodoro technique.
Pomodoro. What I learned was like acceptance. Acceptance and commitment. That's what I tried.
They say it's a timer of maybe 25 minutes.
Okay.
Do the task for 25 minutes and then take a break or something.
Yeah, I've tried that. The thing is, when tasks, there are some tasks which you can't get done in a short term. When I have to get competency in a particular area, I have to spend years to get that competency. how will I get the patience to go through that stage without,
So for that, as you said, begin, right? So what they say is, do a task for maybe 15 minutes, take a break, and then come back to it for 15 more minutes and build this.
yeah, for boring tasks like doing laundry, I've tried that. 30 minutes, I'll do the laundry, then I'll go and watch the movie. Or like, if I have to maybe buy the grocery, I'll say like, okay, 1 hour I'll spend for the grocery, and then I'll come back and do whatever I want. So unpleasant tasks and boring tasks, like simple tasks, the technique works. But complex tasks which you think it's daunting, how the dealing with underlying emotions gets complicated. When you get to the root of it, you will enjoy doing whatever task or whatever challenge. Because like, we are described as one of the best networking companies in the world, and we are reimagining the network of the future. So when you have such a daunting task, and when you have to support like 30,000 customers, when you get CFDs every day, you should have the energy to walk into the office every day and still take on that daunting task. So the way in which you can do is, if you go through that learning process with intrinsic motivation, I don't think any day is a hard day for you.